Here are my note cards. 3, 4. My name is Erica Nystrom, and today I will be doing my persuasive speech on childhood obesity. We all love our children dearly, and we want to protect them from harm in any way that we can. Would you allow your young child to drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, drive a car? Of course, the immediate reaction is like, who would allow that? Because we know that those things are harmful to our children. So why is it that parents are so comfortable with sticking junk food into the hands of our children, allowing them to buy soda, candy bars, have a bowl of ice cream before they go to bed at night? These are not harmful in the same way that we associate the things that I mentioned before, but these are things that we're giving to our children that are forcing them to become overweight, obese, and unhealthy. And these issues are plaguing all of the children in our nation. And so today I'll be discussing childhood obesity and what and who is to blame and ways we can combat this growing problem. Childhood obesity is a serious medical condition that affects children and adolescents and occurs when a child is well above the normal weight for his or her height and age, according to the Mayo Clinic website. There are many factors that contribute to obesity, but the two main factors that I will be focusing on is poor diet and lack of exercise. I have a quote from an article on childhood obesity from the Gals Opposing Viewpoints, and it says, while poor exercise and eating habits are certainly the main factors in the vast majority of cases, more information is needed to understand why a greater number of parents and children are making choices that lead to obesity. Kids simply aren't eating the things that they should be, and they're not getting adequate activity in their daily lives, and questions are starting to be raised. In an article in the Pediatric Nursing Journals called Parents of Obese Children and Charges of Child Abuse, What is Our Response? Lang says, if a parent who endangers a child's health by starving him or her can be charged with abuse, why should a parent who endangers the health by overfeeding him or her not also be the subject of these types of charges? And I think that poses a great question. It gets us thinking, like, how are these things different? Before this, I had never considered that, but we're allowing our children to face harm by allowing them to overeat and be sedentary and inactive. And they can develop issues like diabetes, asthma, cardiovascular disease, sleep disorders, depression, poor self-esteem. And these are all things that we should try to protect our children from because they lead to other issues in their lives, and they will suffer into adulthood if the issue is not addressed. According to the CDC website, obesity now affects 17% of all children and adolescents in the United States, and this is triple the rate from just one generation ago. Many of these issues contributing to obesity rates can be avoided if parents were proactive in assisting their children with making better decisions, healthier choices, encouraging them to get up and go out and play. When I was growing up, sitting around playing video games, your laptops, different electronic devices, that wasn't an option. That was an occasional privilege for a rainy day or something of that nature. We would come home from school, do our homework, go outside and play until we were called in for dinner, and half the time we'd be sent back outside again until bedtime. Electronics should not be a part of a child's daily life. They should be a reward or a backup plan, not a babysitter or a means of hushing a child when you want them to quiet down. We are the teachers for our children, and so we need to be sure to teach them to get moving and eat healthy. According to a recent article that I read that had a study, they did a study on 863 low-income parents and their infants, and the gentleman's name was Scott Dunlap that wrote the article on Fox News. And this study showed that infants were the beginning of the obesity trend. Parents were having feeding habits that included the exclusive use of formula, introducing solid foods before the age of 4 months, putting the infants to bed with their bottles, feeding infants when they cried, and also propping bottles instead of holding them by hand. Bad habits are starting at infancy, and they're contributing to the obesity rates with our children. And in a recent article by the Daily Record, it was said that there is only so much that the state can do in healthcare. The eat well and exercise message has been pounded so much that there's no excuse for parents not knowing about the basic 5 and avoiding the advice to take exercise. Parents really do have to take responsibility for the health of their children. Little things can make a difference, like cutting back on sugar, eating and cooking fresh and healthy foods, and these don't have to be expensive options, and of course keeping fit, but parents need to take personal responsibility for the health and diet of their children too. We need to take a proactive approach and start listening to our children's doctors. They recommend things at birth. We should follow these. They're keys to living a healthy lifestyle, and we know that being healthy includes eating right and exercising. Advocate as parents at your children's schools. Keep physical education programs moving. They're trying to eliminate outdoor recesses, which I believe are important factors in our children's lives. They get outside, release some energy, play, and then go back and sit. Request that vending machines be removed from the schools, junk food be removed from the lunch counters. Maybe monitor what your children are having when they're at school. Their lunch money needs to be spent on, healthy, normal foods, not junk food, cookies, chocolate milk. Michelle Obama launched the Let's Move campaign, and I know that it's affected my children in their schools because they are getting smaller portion sizes, more fruits and vegetables, replacing white with wheat bread, things of that nature. And that's her trying to take steps to make our children's lives healthier, and we need to do the same at home. Get them up, get them moving, make sure that they know that junk food has no place in our everyday lives. It belongs at birthday parties and for special occasions. Take away all the fatty, unhealthy things. Get them outdoors. They need exercise through their entire bodies, not just their thumbs. And I would like to end by saying that ending childhood obesity starts with you and me and all the adults. We need to be looking out for our children and their best interest in every way possible, not just in the typical ways that you think of, like putting on their seatbelts and holding their hands when they cross the street. We are the teachers, and we can prevent them from suffering from various diseases, bullying, the emotional effects that are associated. And if we play our part today, we can help the children of today and ultimately shape the adults of our future tomorrow. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to your speeches as well.